This is Pat Soundbytes Unplugged. Unplugged. The podcast where all the artists go to tell it as it is. Careers, music, tours, and more. And here's your host, the man that refuses to eat squid, Pat Calamari.
Hey, live on Pat Soundbytes Unplugged podcast. Keeping new music alive is what I do and support great, incredible artists throughout the world like this beautiful looking lady. I always screw this up, Natalie. I can't figure this out. This lady to my right, to your left, she's an amazing, I keep saying United Kingdom sensation. Move over, Adele, Mariah Carey, whoever you are, it doesn't matter. She is one of the hardest working independent artists in the world. And trust me when I say that, she is the incredible, amazing, the beautiful Nathalie Miranda. How are you, Natalie?
Oh, I'm good. Thank you. How are you, Pat?
I am great. Great to see you. And man, great. You continue to put out great news after I was looking at my notes and I'm like, I've known Natalie for over a year now, courtesy of our buddy Zach,
Yes.
who kind of connected us. And it's pretty cool to watch. And I don't take this wrong. Watch you grow musically from Red Light and Poltergeist and Battle Scars and Is It Love and Back to Love. I mean, I know them all because I love them all. And I've played them all. And of course, I think our last chat was Echoes. My goodness, such a powerful and great tune. And today we jump into something a whole totally different.
Totally different.
Your first Spanish song, pen single coming up. Now, my mom was Hispanic, but she always said, you got to throw the R's, and I can never roll the R's. Terremoto, right? Terremoto?
That's right, Terremoto, that's right.
Ready for the earth to quake all over the world. And that wonderful backdrop behind me is the cover of her latest single, which comes out on Friday, October 6th. And you can check out her video, go to her YouTube channel and hit the premiere, which I think comes on Thursday or so. But it's all good. Congratulations. I know we talked about it, and I know you wanted to do it. So I read in one of your notes that your dad says, look, you did the Greek song. What about doing the Spanish song? So talk to me about how this all came about.
Sure. Well, so after the Greek song, obviously being Greek, that was kind of like a sort of a natural thing to do.
No brainer, right?
My dad was like, you should write a Spanish song because for any of your viewers that don't know, I studied French and Spanish at university, so I have a master's in translation. And he was like, you should really use like your language skills. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna write a Spanish song. So I just came up with an idea in my head, like just for the first line of the verse, came home, kind of worked with the idea, and it just kind of evolved into a reggaeton track, which wasn't my first choice. It's not even my favorite Latin rhythm. It just kind of evolved into reggaeton. And again, I wanted it to be something positive, a powerful song. And I keep saying this word, but empowering, something that makes you feel like you can rule the world, something that makes you feel just like really powerful. So Terremoto is basically something, and I'm very proud of the fact that I wrote it myself. And I did get one of my Spanish friends to just check it in case anything was a little bit wrong. But he was like, this is really good. So I was like, thank you. And it's basically about turning the tables on someone. So whether it's a relationship or whether it's a friend or a family member, someone that thinks they've got the upper hand, but you're here to say, I've had enough of you controlling me. And if you're not careful, I am going to rock your world, but in a bad way.
Oh, baby. I love it.
Make the earthquake and, you should be scared kind of thing. That's how it came about. And I'm very, very thankful that my good friend Ignacio Arellano from Ecuador agreed to sing the male part on there. And he's a fantastic artist himself. And I was so happy when he agreed to provide the male vocals. He's just completely brought an authentic Latin vibe to it, and it's probably my favorite part of the song, if I'm being honest.
And so my Espanol is un poquito, but I could read it quite well, and I'm a pretty good listener. What I lack is being able to speak it with somebody. Well, my mom passed away a bunch of years ago, and she would always encourage me. She worked as an interpreter in the United Nations.
Oh, wow.
Back in 1968. And she drilled myself and two of my other brothers, learn Spanish, learn Spanish, learn Spanish, learn Spanish. And the problem was when you went to school for Spanish, well, at least here, they taught you like how somebody in Spain would speak it. Now, my mom was Puerto Rican, so she's like, no, you're saying it the wrong way. And, I'm like, no, there's different, dialects, Mexican, Spanish, Dominican Republic, wherever people say it's just a little bit different. You're not yelling at me, but he's like, no. And I'm like, but I got to pass. I got to pass the grade, So, but what I got out of it was, I don't want anything else. That love is worth anything. If you don't give me freedom, and I think I heard you say, like, your prisoner is not me. I'm like,
yes, I'm not your prisoner.
After listening to it about 100 times and trying to translate it, to understand it, was I close?
Yes, very close. That's the gist.
Okay. Mom would be proud of me. I can say that. I always say I could read it quite well, but like I said, speaking it is a whole different. But she always says, roll the R's. You got to roll the R's. So when I see, there you go. When I see Terremoto, I'm like, oh boy, I can't roll the R's. Well, that is really cool, and I'm happy for you to expand. You said Spanish and French in university. Are there any other languages that you fell in love with that you speak besides obviously Greek too?
I love all languages, honestly, and I taught myself a little bit of Italian before I went to Italy many years ago. I can understand Italian, but only reply to a certain level. Portuguese is something I really should learn because I have a big Brazilian fan base.
Wow, yes.
And I do understand it both if I read it or hear it, but I can't respond. I have to either reply in Spanish or English. So I really should learn it. I love languages. I'd love to learn Arabic and Mandarin and Russian. I know very basic level, but I just love them. Yeah.
Do you struggle finding hard to communicate in those languages? Like you're in the UK, finding someone that you could speak to keep up your skill level.
What you mean, like Spanish and French?
Yes.
I more so with French because I kind of lost touch with a lot of the French friends I've made over the years, but I know a lot of Spanish people, Latin American people as well. I used to teach Zumba, which I think I told you before. And from that, I made a lot of Colombian friends who I'm still friends with. So it's always something that's ongoing, the Spanish, and I don't know, I think it's probably after Greek, is probably my favorite language.
There you go. It's romantic, right?
Exactly.
It's got that passion. I have no rhythm. My wife's like, you're Hispanic and you really can't dance. I haven't figured it out. I can dance. She's just another. Well, that's good. And I'm preparing for today, Nathalie. Your videos are incredible. I mean, I don't know where you come up with the concept, like in this beautiful picture. And you sent me the teaser of the video, but we'll share that with everybody when it officially comes out. But how do you come up with the concept and the idea, and how exhausting is it to do, right? I mean, people think, okay, put on a little makeup, put you in a room, throw a bed or a couch, and it's not like, hey, can we do it again? Can we do it again?
It's, for me, the video process is really important. It's probably more important than actually making the song, because it's where you're bringing the song to life visually. And when I have this vision of what I want in my head, and I have to try and express it to my director, and I've got to try and find the right location, and obviously this is all to a budget. So this is why I don't really have other people in the video. I've done it a couple of times with a friend of mine. But if it's just me, I don't have to pay anyone, it's just me. The idea for Terremoto, which people will see, is a fantastic studio here in East London called Murder Mile Studios. And it's really dark and a bit creepy, and there's different sets within the 2 floors. And it was perfect for my idea for Terremoto, which was all about I'm going to say it again because I can't think of another word, power and like being in charge. There's this really cool, like almost a throne, which you may have seen in the teaser, which I'm sitting on, and like this really cool bed and like this chaise longue and stuff like that. It's just perfect. And so we hired that studio. We did the photo shoot there before we did the video. And it was actually a really stressful video shoot because the director was stuck in traffic for like an hour, which meant that
no.
it was like, which meant the 4-hour shoot became a 3-hour shoot. And we had so much to get squeezed into that time. We actually forgot to film the opening scene. So, well, a very important part of the opening scene. So after we'd done it, we arranged another day, and at my house, we put up a black backdrop, and we did a really close-up of my lips, which you'll see in the video. And I tried to recreate it as best as I could because I had a makeup artist for the shoot. And actually, the guy you're going to see in the video isn't the singer that you're seeing he's not the singer. So I had to get a friend of mine to lip sync to Ignacio's voice because Ignacio wasn't available to do a video. So it was like really stressful finding someone that could speak Spanish and with conviction. Eventually we found it, and I'm so grateful to my friend Sebastian for stepping in. But when you see it, it looks like it just went all nice and smoothly, but there was a whole load of problems. But like I said, the videos are really important to me, and it has to be as I imagine it in my head. Otherwise, there's just no point.
I totally agree with you, because I could play it in New York 1,000,000 times, but the video can go viral tomorrow.
Exactly.
And I think you've seen that. I mean, some of your video, I mean, you're always putting out something, which that's what I mean. I'm the hardest worker out there. And as an independent, it's not easy. You know, like you mentioned before, you're on a fixed budget. You would love to have a ton of money where you could open up. But it doesn't work like that. I wanted to ask you, do you have a Patreon page? Have you thought of that?
I do have a Patreon page.
Okay.
Yeah. It's been going for 3 years now. So, and I've got a little group of patrons there.
Good. Well, look, every little bit counts. I know a few independents that say, "Man, if it wasn't for my handful of followers, it's
so
a
true.
struggle to put out something new." How will this track be able to, I mean, what do you think for radio in the UK, or you're just shooting for Brazil or any of the South Americas, or Spanish or Portuguese to go out? Does UK have anything like Hispanic music, Latin music?
There is a scene over here, but it's definitely not as mainstream as, say pop music or something like that. So I've been sending off the private link to the song to some playlisters on Spotify. I've been contacting radio stations in Spain, in Latin America, in the US. Unfortunately, I haven't had any response yet. But it's really hard because, like, even a friend of mine who lives in Peru, he's an artist in Peru, he was like, it's even hard for me here in Latin America to get any airplay because it's all very kind of closed world, as it is everywhere in this industry. So I'm doing my best. I'm going to throw out a couple of ads nearer the time, sort of targeting those areas. But that's all I can do. And I will be interviewed the day after it comes out. I'll be interviewed on BBC Radio London here in London the next day. So that will hopefully get it out there a little bit more. But all I can do is just keep sharing it and hope someone hears it.
Look, you've been doing this. This isn't your first rodeo. You've been doing this
a
long time, and you've had a lot of doors closed in your face, and
so many.
Nothing's going to stop you. No, this is what you love. And I tell people, if you've got to find something that you love to do.
Yeah.
It's not about the money, or I mean, it'd be nice, but
Yes.
that day might happen. It could take 5 years, it could take 10 years or 20 years to get a number one or a Grammy or whatever. But as long as you love what you do, it don't matter what other people and how other people judge you. I laugh at these people. I'm like,
I
I'm going to do
totally
what
agree.
I want to do. You're not going to tell me how to dress, how to
Exactly.
talk, what to play. I'm done with all that. I take control of my own destiny as well as you,
Yeah,
right?
I am so with you on that. I've so had enough of all of that, and especially now, I get the whole ageism thing as well, because I'm not 21, and there's still ageism in the industry, and especially for women, and I'm just like, I don't care. I'm going to do what I want, and
Exactly.
I'm not listening to any of the stereotypes or the whatever you have to say. As long as I'm making music that's authentic and comes from a real place, I'd like to think other people will feel that and hopefully relate and connect to it.
Well, you have a lot of great tracks. I mean,
Thank
Echoes.
you.
I mean, there's a lot of people reading the comments and the reviews. I mean, it's interesting how fans go, thank you for being the voice, that you're able to put words and things that they've experienced into music and get that voice out. It's like music. There's something about music that it's like, wow. I
It's
mean,
so
Back to
special.
Life, when you did Back to Life, it's like, you know what? I'm past all this other garbage. I'm doing what I want to do, and I could care less. So I love that. The other, there's a lot of things I love about you, Nathalie, and you are so proud of your Greek heritage.
I
I
am.
mean, you were like, I know you went on vacation to Cyprus, your motherland, your home away from home, and you could just see how radiant you are and how much you like, oh my God, I'm going home maybe to see my mom and dad, and just the scenery. You get a lot of inspiration being there when you're there and taking on the scenery and taking on the environment.
Yeah, I really do. I mean, it also kind of reinvigorates me. So now I've come back, since I've been back in London, I've been like, right, Terremoto, come on, let's do it. I've been planning everything, planning the release, the promo schedule and all this kind of stuff. I contacted you to arrange the interview, and it just, there's something about it. I mean, and I've been to some lovely countries in the world, but for me, and I know it sounds biased, but Cyprus is just, I feel so at one there, so happy. And leaving it is always a chore. Leaving Cyprus is always like the saddest thing. But yeah, it does inspire me, and it just gives me a new sort of outlook.
It is definitely on Pat's bucket list, and I see more and more of
100%.
my friends, more and more of my friends. I see artists. I see a lot more people flying to Greece and all those beautiful islands and different areas there. It's just my wife worked in the restaurant business, and obviously her previous bosses were of Greek, and her ex-boss goes, she has a place in Greece, and I forget what island she's on, and she goes probably every 3 or 4 months. It's not obviously cheap, but she got a place there, and she's got relatives there to watch her place, and she always, we went to, her son got married, and I'd never been to a Greek wedding before, with the opera and the dollar bills and people dancing.
That's
And
right.
it was in New York City. It was just so crazy. I'm like, I didn't get enough singles here. I gotta find an ATM machine.
Yeah, that's a very, very traditional thing. The plate smashing as well, and yeah,
the plates, right? How can I forget the plates? I'm like, are we allowed to do this? I've never been to a reception and breaking somebody's plates, but it's all good. Looking at some of your stuff, I a few things that I never saw before, and maybe I just missed it, of you. And I know you're a big Queen and Freddie Mercury fan, but to see you sing "We Are the Champions" alongside Brian May and Roger Taylor, oh my goodness, you had to be like, oh my God, did this really just happen?
Well, I think, I don't know which video you're relating to, but that might be the one where I was. Was it the one on stage?
It was one that you were just singing, and they're in the
they're
video
on the other
next
side.
to you. Yes.
Yeah. That was, obviously I wasn't with them.
Right. No, I get that, but it was just to be able
Yeah.
to do that. because
Yeah,
a
that
lot
was
of people
really
are doing
cool.
it, and I see the artists jump on board and they're watching it and they're
Yeah.
going, wow, great job, that's really good.
Unfortunately, they didn't see mine, but it was fun
No, you
anyway.
say that. Yeah, but you say that. You don't know that. You really don't know
Yeah,
that, right? I mean, Brian or Roger could just pop up and they might not tell you that, but I
that's
just
true.
watched one with Pink.
Right.
One of Pink's people played this young lady, and Pink's like, "Who is she? What?" She sings.
Oh.
She's got the song. She does the song. Pink says, "Better than me." Is she an artist? And I think her staff or someone says, well, she's trying. And Pink says, oh, that's got to change. This girl. But I
Oh.
like, you know what? As much, today's technology with YouTube, from doing phone interviews to seeing you here in the UK and me in New York, and to seeing the reaction of how much you can actually do is pretty outstanding. That, who knows? Maybe Brian or somebody has watched that, but I
Fingers
know,
crossed.
yeah, no,
You
it's
can
all good.
see you can see my Freddie pictures up
I know.
here.
I see a lot of Freddie pictures up there. I know
It's
you're
quite
a
a
big
few.
fan. Did you have you? I know you look. I love your originals. Don't get me wrong, but I also have run into a lot of covers that you do of all your, the Christina Aguilera's out there.
Yes.
And you just must just get in the mood and say, put the video on. I heard this. I'm singing this, and then you put it out there.
Yeah, I love, there's so many artists that I admire and have inspired me. So yeah, especially during the whole sort of 2020 experience, I was doing lots of videos and uploading them to YouTube and live streaming as well, lots of covers. And I enjoy covers, but I mean, ultimately for me, it's got to be my own music.
But you'd be surprised. There's a lot of folks that have done covers and made it just a little bit, not take away from the great tracks,
Absolutely.
but
Yeah.
just to put a little curve of themselves in there. And then people are like,
Yes.
wow. It's like, oh,
Yes. Well, I have actually released two covers.
okay.
Help Me Make It Through the Night by Gladys Knight and the Pips,
Wow.
and In My Life by the Beatles.
I think I've seen that one. I think
Yes.
I think I did see that one. It was good to see you do a show, I guess, on the 40th floor where people were actually dancing and having a good time compared to the fashion show you did. And it was driving
Oh,
me crazy that people are talking and I just want to scream at them. But the 40th floor, you're going off, you're singing, and somebody who was filming, you could see the people having a good time and actually dancing and enjoying
yeah,
your performance.
that was very cool. It was actually like some kind of a wedding event. But yeah, it was really cool to be up at the top. It's just something different, and it was like, yeah, it's called the Gherkin. The building's called the Gherkin, and it's like in this sort of banking part of London, in the city. And yeah, it was a great gig.
Are you getting a lot more exposure now that you've been doing this for a while now, that people know your name? I mean, can you still go to the grocery store and people ask you for an interview or an
Oh,
autograph?
no, I'm definitely very unknown.
Really?
Extremely
What is wrong with
unknown.
these people? I would recognize you in New York. I don't know about anybody else.
I would say, I actually think more people will recognize me abroad than they do in the UK.
Well, when you go back to Cyprus and Greece, do people recognize you there and say, "Oh my goodness, I love what you do"? And I know, I think
No, they don't
no.
actually know, because even though I released a Greek song, again, it's the same thing. It's like, unless you know someone that runs one of the the big stations or that kind of thing, it's really hard to get it out there. And I know
Ah.
my family shared it with, their friends or whatever, but it's just really hard in every language.
I remember how happy you were when I want to say one of the Greek papers actually
Yes,
did a whole cover for you or did an article on you, and you were
yes.
really excited about that.
Yeah, for me it's a London-based Greek paper, but it goes out to like the whole community, and it was great to be in that. It really just it was I felt very proud.
Well, speaking of shows, I see the Carlton Tavern in London, Friday, November 3rd, Bright Nights featuring Nathalie Miranda. Now, is that a band that you're going to be joining in, or how does that work?
It is a night of original music called Bright Nights, And
Okay.
sorry, bright lights. If it says nights, then I made a mistake. It should be lights.
Okay.
I think I had to check that anyway. So it's run by a guy called Tom Bright, and he hosts these showcases for original artists. And I've done it 3 or 4 times now. They're very low-key acoustic events, but they're so wonderful because everyone's there to just hear the music. And I'll be performing with a guitarist, about half an hour's worth of original music. It's free to enter. If you happen to be in London, in Maida Vale on the 3rd of November, it's a free entry and you can just come and get a drink and watch about 4 artists perform, including me.
Excellent. Go out and support Natalie. I remember you did the acoustic, I want to say in one of my notes here, live at Hugo's, or was that a studio?
Oh, yes. Wow. Well remembered. That was last year.
Ah,
Yeah, that was a really cool, again, that was a live recording at a guy's flat in South London. We went with my guitarist and he just recorded everything live and then just released the videos. And see, for me, that's what it's about. Like, it's just that live moment, that live experience. And yeah, that was fun.
so we did a Greek song and we did a Spanish song. And I read somewhere we're working on maybe a Christmas song.
Oh yes, that's good to go. I've already uploaded it. It's going to be, well, I won't tell you the release date just yet because it's a bit too early.
Okay.
But it's all set to go just before the festive season. The video again is done. I did that in June, believe it or not. And we'll talk more about that nearer the time. Maybe we can do another chat about that.
Oh no, we will. No, we will.
But 100%, it's my first Christmas single, and I'm super, super, super excited about it because I wrote it nearly 20 years ago.
Wow.
It is now time for it to be released into the world.
Do you have like a journal, Natalie, of songs that, like you said, 20 years ago, or
Yes,
maybe
I do.
last week that you go, you got to find the right timing, right? It's got to
Yes.
it's got to fit. You got to do the video. You got to,
Yeah, absolutely. I have a sort of a folder of songs I started writing from when I was like 10, 11 years old. And it's just built up over the years, and I've divided them into sections, and things like that. And occasionally something will just come to mind, and maybe I'll just expand upon it or work on it a bit. But yeah, I never throw anything away, even if it's just like a little line. You have to keep everything in case you could merge 2 songs, something like that.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. I'm looking, where did I leave off here? My notes with you. I did see a summer song, Talk to Me. Boy, that's a great dance song. That was pretty good.
Now that's got a funny story actually, because now it's been released, you'll only hear the chorus, the hook, and like 2 other lines in the entire final mix. Okay, so the producer he sent me this track, I wrote the top line, the melody and the lyrics, and the whole song. I did 2 verses, a breakdown, everything, harmonies, everything. Then like 5-6 months later, he sends me the final mix, and it was like the bare bones of the song. And I was like, where's the rest of the song? And he was like, well, the dance label preferred it like this. So I had to do like loads of editing and mix things and change things until they were happy with it. And I was like, okay, well, look, it's going to be released. That's the main thing, And actually, it's done really, really well. Like loads of people have.
It's got a great.
Yeah,
there's something about that.
I'm so happy with it.
I caught that, and I saw Glow.
Yes, that also has a funny story.
Go ahead.
Right, so back in 2020, right at the end of 2020, a friend of mine asked me if I'd be up for doing a top line for his friend who just produced this track. I was like, sure, send it over. And as soon as I heard it, it was called Glow. The working title was Glow. And I loved that word. I was like, right, I'm going to work with this. And they wanted something a little bit kind of, what's that guy's name? Moby, a little bit chilled out, that kind of vibe. I was like, okay. So I just started writing something very, very low-key. They wanted me to sing in a breathy voice, no belting, nothing like that. And it ended up being a song about, the lyric is "Don't let them steal your glow." Again, it's a theme that follows in a lot of my writing. Don't let people dampen your spirit. Just keep that light, whatever it is that you love, keep doing it.
I love that.
And so we're in 2023 now. And about 4 weeks ago, I just got tagged on an Instagram post. Glow is out. I was like, oh, okay.
Thanks for the phone call.
Yeah, thanks for that. And we even did a video for it back at the end of 2020 at my friend's house, very, very literally just on a handheld camcorder, you know. And I didn't even know that was on YouTube. I just, again, got tagged on it. I was like, oh, okay, so we released it. That's cool. It was a lovely surprise because that song is just, it's a beautiful song. And I'm trying to promote it as much as I can. Now I know it's out. I'm using it a lot more. But yeah, it's been an unexpected couple of months with these releases.
It's all good. Who do you listen to, Natalie? Is there any upcoming artists in the UK or anywhere in the world that really has caught your attention that you go, wow, you know?
I have to be honest, I don't really keep up with what's going on in modern music.
Okay.
I kind of only do when I need to reference production or stuff like that for my music. I live in my own little sort of retro bubble. I love to listen to to 80s music and Queen, obviously, and that's the kind of stuff that really just lifts me up. Oh, I do love Kylie Minogue's comeback, her kind of new music. I'm a huge Kylie fan, always have been, and I love the way that she's representing the older artist. She's 55 years old. She looks amazing. She sounds amazing, and she's killing it. And I love that. So I'm a huge Kylie fan, and I love her new music.
Excellent. Well, there you go. That's interesting. Any other things that you're working on? I know you're the hardest worker out there. I know you're excited for the release of this song and the video.
Yes.
So obviously that's a priority number one.
Yes.
Any other things that you can share? Any other shows upcoming? When are you coming to the States?
I know. Oh my God. I have to go.
Hook up with Deborah Bonham and Pete Bullock. They're over there in the UK, and I'm waiting for her to come back with Paul Rogers to get you to come to the States too. Boy,
I would love to, honestly. But I mean, I don't have any more shows other than the one in November at the moment. I'm live streaming all the time, twice a week here. Next year, I'm planning to hopefully release another Greek song, and potentially 2 more songs that are already written 100 years ago, but I want to release them. They're ready. It's time for them to come out. So yeah, I'm not thinking about recording anything just yet. I want to just let the Spanish single and the Christmas single do their thing. And then at the beginning of next year, I'll start recording again, I think.
And I honestly like your trend of just releasing the singles.
Yes.
Folks are putting out an album and not everybody's listening to the whole album. And it's a lot of work.
It's so much
and
work,
then you got to, what's the single? And then you got to do this way. You just give enough, let it go for 3 months.
Yeah.
Christmas coming, get that out, another 3 months. Yeah. And then throw. So that seems to really, I see that with other artists, but that really works well for you, right? You're not looking at putting out an album or doing anything crazy.
No, not at all. I mean, especially being an independent artist who is still unknown and still kind of, doing my thing. I think it's a great opportunity for me to just change up my style, show people exactly what I can do, and that you can't box me in, that I do like to experiment. And it's fun. It's fun for me as well to just change persona. I mean, this image behind you is completely different to anything I've ever done. The whole kind of vibe of it is totally different. And that was so much fun. And the Christmas one is happy. It's cheesy. It's going to be completely different to this. But it's fun to show people different sides of you as an artist, I think.
Right. I mean, it shows your personality. It shows your growth. I mentioned before.
Yes.
There's your diversity. You can do whatever you want. You're not stuck in some mold of doing the same old. I think you certainly have broke free from all the other BS, and now you're doing everything that you really want to do. And I really get that, and I applaud you for certainly doing that. I mean, when I was listening the other day to Red Lights and Bulletproof, and I just put the smile on my face thinking, when I first met you and reading you on Instagram, you were like, oh, these people, I'm ready to smack these people. Now, today, certainly move forward. you're expanding, you're looking to expand even more. And I hope, I pray that, and I'm going to do whatever I can to help you, that Terremoto does really well for
Thank
all
you.
the Latinos out there, whether you're in South America, where you're Spain, Portuguese. And I encourage everybody to go to a YouTube channel, to the subscribe button. You could do the premiere. Nathalie, if somebody wants to go to the pre-sale, is it your website, nataliemiranda.com? Help me out with that.
The pre-save is on my social media. On my website from the 6th of October, if you subscribe to my mailing list, you'll get a free download of Terremoto from the 6th of October. At the moment, you'll still get echoes, but all my social media has the link to the pre-save for Terremoto. So that's the best place to find the pre-save.
And become a Patreon fan and help this incredible artist out.
You.
She does it all. I know she's on Facebook. I definitely know she's on Instagram. She's on TikTok. She's got it all going on. Nathalie, man, so great to see you, man.
Thank you, Pat,
I'm so
you too.
happy for you. You are just kicking the wall down and moving forward and doing what you want to do. And we are ready for the earthquake in Spanish.
Yes. I'm so glad that I think you're going to enjoy it. Oh, you've heard it. Sorry, you've heard it. Haven't you?
I've heard it.
Yeah,
I've heard it a bunch of times, and I was like, I got to translate this.
You're going to love the video, the full video. You're going to love it.
Okay, cool. Well, it doesn't get any better than this. Nathalie Miranda in the house. Go check it out. Go support her. I love everything she does, and we can't wait for the video and the song to be finally released. Thank you, Nathalie.
Muchas gracias.